Welcome in the latest episode of What I Bet. This is episode number 33 for April 30th, 2026. I'm your host, Griffin Warner. Tonight, we're going through the Major League Baseball card on Thursday, April 30th, plus the NHL playoff slate. Do have a promo code to save you all some money at pregame.com. Also want to shout out a What I Bet best bet end of show. We are winners on our last episode. That was unfortunately a little bit longer ago than I meant to be, but the Chicago Cubs on April 20th, 420. Smoke them if you got them. They were a plus 102 underdog winner, closed the favorite. So hopefully you got in, listen to the podcast as quickly as possible. You can find us on twitter.com/pregame now or wherever you get your podcast, straight out of Vegas AM feed. I'm at the Real Warner across all social media platforms. And let's get started with some early matchups in baseball on this Thursday, April 30th card. As I, like a pro, have it already loaded up. Or just kidding, we're doing it now. So we'll start at 11:15 Central Time, 12:15 Eastern Time. The Detroit Tigers are in Atlanta. Framber Valdez starting for Detroit. Bryce Elder, a former Texas pitcher, as I have. If you can watch this on video, I have a Longhorn flag over my shoulder on the couch, of course, behind me, because who wants to hang things up these days? You never know when we're moving. But Tigers and Framber Valdez plus 111 underdogs to a minus 122. Atlanta Braves, Bryce Elder favorite. Totals 8.5 in this one, juiced a little bit more to under. And the big question is, Atlanta Braves, best record in baseball entering into Wednesday baseball card. Do we believe in it? Because their pitching is not great. Their hitting has been awesome for years. Had a really down year last season, but seems to be coming back. We've seen Ronald Acuna Jr. about as hot as he's been, and an Atlanta Braves bullpen that's been a lot better than I think expected, especially ever since their closer, Raisel Iglesias, went on the injured list. Detroit, on the other hand, have been playing above their skis, above their talent grade for a while, a lot because they have a great manager, platoon advantages, and they use those splits to their advantages as often as they can. And they've been playing really bad defense lately, which is a fairly big problem against Framber Valdez, who's an extreme sinker baller, uses his defense a lot, and honestly is a little bit of a hothead out there. For me, though, Framber Valdez is underdog. I try to back it as much as possible. Plus 111, big interest for me in that one. Move next to St. Louis Cardinals and Hunter Dobbins visiting Pittsburgh Pirates and Paul Skenes. This is at 11:35 Central, 12:35 Eastern. So we got some early games on the card on Thursday. Dobbins a plus 193 underdog on the road at Pittsburgh, total 7.5. Choose very heavily to under, and it should be. If you trust Hunter Dobbins, you probably should play under here. That's the biggest question. Paul Skenes was awesome in Milwaukee his last start. We'll see if you can follow that up. To a early game in a doubleheader, the Houston Astros and the Baltimore Orioles don't have a line for the game two yet, but we'll start with Peter Lambert visiting Chris Bassitt. Lambert plus 107 underdog, total is 9, just more to the under. This was expected matchup on Wednesday. We've seen a little bit more money coming in, or at least where the number has drifted to, a little bit more money on Baltimore ever since the opener yesterday. But Chris Bassitt's been really bad. He's usually a great home pitcher, but has been really never good in Baltimore, and they've changed the park around quite a bit. So it's probably a little bit better for him this season based on left field being the Great Wall of Baltimore, as it's called. But the Houston's been hitting the ball really well. They just can't really pitch, and that's a big, big problem. Closing games late. Maybe over 9 looks interesting in that one. To the next game, 5 minutes later at 12:40 Eastern Time, the Colorado Rockies and Michael Lorenzen visits Andrew Abbott and Cincinnati Reds. Abbott minus 166, favorite at home, total is 9, just all the way to under minus 120. Andrew Abbott, I've really liked, has been great ever since Double A, striking out 1 million batters per inning, it seemed. Made it to the majors, hasn't struck out as many batters, but has done very, very well with run prevention until this season. I expect he'll turn it around, especially because it hasn't been. I guess the question, though, is it hasn't been hot in Cincinnati yet. The ball hasn't been flying and really impacting him as a fly ball pitcher. He's got a big step up, has to prove it here. If you own him in fantasy baseball like I do, this is the last rope I'm giving. If he struggles against Colorado, I think I'm going to cut bait, but should have a pretty good outing. And the Rockies are always tempting away from home, but I usually try to urge you to resist the temptation. Next, we'll go to Washington Nationals. Mikolas visiting the New York Mets and Freddy Peralta. Speaking of teams that are underperforming, Peralta minus $2 favorite, minus 200 at home to Washington. Total 7.5, juice more to the over. I don't know how you can back the Mets at this point. Miles Mikolas plus 1.5 run line. Mets win by a single run, and then they don't even bat in the ninth inning. Plus 1.5, minus 115 looks interesting there at 12:10 Central, 1:10 Eastern Time. Moving next to Arizona Diamondbacks, Michael Soroka visiting Brandon Woodruff, the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers minus 120 right now. Seems cheap. 7.5 is the total, just more to the over. This is a 1:40 Eastern time. Arizona, it's really early for their body clocks. Michael Soroka has been good when he's pitched, but he's never on the mound because he's always hurt. Brandon Woodruff, coming back from shoulder surgery, has not been the same velocity type of pitcher, but his control is somehow better. Give me the Brewers -120. Move next to the Kansas City Royals and Noah Cameron visiting the Oakland, well, formerly Oakland, now Sacramento, now no city named Athletics. Jeffrey Springs on the mound for the A's. They're -120 favorite at home. Totals 9.5. Just more to the over. Totals have been big in this park this season. I don't agree with it. It's not hot in Sacramento yet. The ball's not flying. Won't be for a while, honestly. So I'm interested in the Royals. They've been really bad to start this season. Unfortunately, Noah Cameron's been interesting, but I think the real question is how much or how well does Jeffrey Springs throw? I'm interested in underdog. I'm interested in under 9.5. Yes, it will be hotter in the daytime, but it's still not the 100-degree temperatures we're going to see in July, August, and September, where no one wants to be there, essentially. And the last game of the night, this is a late one, 6:40 Central Time, 7:40 Eastern Time. Toronto Blue Jays and Kevin Gausman visit Minnesota Twins and Bailey Ober. Gausman -130 favorite on the road, which is enormous. Totals 8, just very heavily to under -118. And the Jays have not been good. They weren't good last year. Somehow snuck into, almost lost a huge division lead, and then somehow made the World Series and should have probably won it. A lot of players on the injured list. Yes, they're coming around. They've already demoted their closer, which is a question end of last season. And then Jeff Hoffman was great in the playoffs. So a lot of questions all over the place. We'll see. But the Twins had a lead in the ninth inning today against the Seattle Mariners. Blew that. They have no bullpen. Haven't spent on it because they weren't expecting to compete this season. And unfortunately, at this point, I don't know that there's a lot I want to do with them. Bailey Ober's been great to start the season. I guess under 8 would be interesting. It's going to be hard to put that on the card, though. Unfortunately, they've been really struggling to close out games late. But did push today if you had a split of first half under and full game like I did. I guess you're happy to take half of a unit, though 3-2 in the ninth looks generally good to try to get out of there. And probably needed a great Byron Buxton play to even keep that push in order. We'll now move to the NHL portion of the show. Stanley Cup Playoffs have been awesome. I've been so entertained. I just wish my teams that made it to overtime would, I don't know, win an overtime game. That'd be nice. I did get Montreal in game 3 against Tampa, but I've lost like 4 straight and would like to turn that around. We'll start with the Dallas Stars, who have attended 2 of their home games so far, game 2 and game 5 so far in this playoff series. Well, now the series switches to Minnesota, former home of the Minnesota North Stars that became the Dallas Stars. Stars are a +110 underdog on the road. Minnesota Wild -125. Totals 5.5. She's very heavily to over. There's some rumors about some defensive injuries here. There hasn't been a lot of defense played by the Stars. That's a lot of the reason why they lost game 5 at home last night. That would be Wednesday night, the 29th of April. But they're a decent underdog. I've been to now 3 Minnesota Wild games in Dallas in the last month or in this same month. And I thought the Wild were really dominant in the April 9th final regular season game, but ended up losing in a 5-4 back and forth, a lot of goaltender issues, and they ended up replacing their starter for who I think was in the competition to try to take the job for the playoffs. But Broden Wallstedt, he's been a lot better. Dominant game 1. Game 2 was I think probably the best the Stars had played in the entire series. 1-1 going to Minnesota. The Stars win in overtime miraculously game 3. Wild return the favor, win game 4 in overtime. It's been an awesome series. It's going to be really close. And then game 5, Minnesota comes into Dallas and wins. And now they're on the brink. Dallas should perform a lot better. I just don't know that I have seen it. And the question is, do Minnesota deserve to be a favorite? I think they've been the better team in the series, so I don't know that I'm playing Dallas in this one. Total of 5.5, juice all the way to over. Does seem interesting though, especially because you will win your bet if it hits 3-3 or if you get that late empty netter, because I've seen that twice in under 5.5s with the Kings and the Avalanche earlier in this playoff series. To the nightcap, only 2 games on the card, which is good. 2 standalones, which would be great. Edmonton Oilers visiting the Anaheim Ducks. Oilers now down 3-2 after a pretty dominant first period that got them a win in game 5. The Oilers -130 on the road at the Anaheim Ducks, +115 on Anaheim's side. Total is 7. She's pretty heavily to under. I would expect a lot of Edmonton Oilers fans to be in Anaheim. We saw a lot of them last year here in Dallas in the Western Conference Finals, I want to say it was. I think it was. I have a towel behind me, if you can see it from you're looking at the video. Um, and honestly, they said a flight to Dallas and tickets in Dallas were cheaper than going to the Rogers Center in Edmonton. So not a surprise, and expect some fanfare for Edmonton, certainly on the road. Is Connor McDavid healthy? It seems like he's gotten better, but I still am not convinced. And I got to say, the Ducks didn't play well, did fight back, but it was kind of a blowout from the start in game five, falling behind 3-0 in the first period. Anaheim, I think, has been toe to toe, very competitive with Edmonton. Obviously, they're leading the series 3-2. Ducks plus 115 look really interesting for me as a best bet potential coming end of show. Before we get there, I want to save you all some money at pregame.com. So let's go and throw out a promo code there. Use the promo code RUN20. R as in Richard, U as Umbrella, N as in Nancy, 20, good for $20 off from Major League Baseball 30-day all access for your favorite pro. Could be me, could be anyone on the site. Available now for only $119. Well, use that promo code RUN20 and you only pay $99 with your coupon. It's good through the 12th of May, so you've got a long time. Go in there, throw it in there, go save some money at pregame.com. Now, for the ultimate best bet, the What I Bet pick on this show, I'm going to go with an early one, which is a little bit of a risk, I got to say, for everyone out there. I'm sorry to do that all to you. But to me, it's just too hard to look away from this one, I got to say. We'll go Milwaukee Brewers minus 120, Brandon Woodruff. And that'll do it for this episode. See you on the next episode of What I Bet coming in May.